Tioga State Forest. It's home of the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. But is it worth it? Come on along and find out.
Most people come to Tioga State Forest for one thing: to see the Pine Creek Gorge, Pennsylvania's answer to the Grand Canyon. And honestly, it's spectacular. But here's what I discovered after spending many days over several trips exploring more than 160,000 acres of wilderness. The gorge is just the beginning. I'm talking about remote forest roads where you won't see another soul for hours, primitive camping with nothing but bears for company, and trails that lead to some of the most underappreciated wilderness in the Mid-Atlantic. So is Tioga State Forest worth your time and money? Let's find out. First, where exactly are we talking about? Tioga State Forest covers a little over 160,000 acres in north-central Pennsylvania, with its northern edge only being about 10 miles from the border with New York. As mentioned, much of its eastern edge is dominated by the Pine Creek Gorge, though a narrow strip stretches further east along State Route 414. Its scale is magnified by the fact that to the west, Tioga adjoins both Susquehannock and Tioga State Forests, adding more exploration, overland, and outdoor recreation opportunities. Let's talk about some things clearly in the worth it column for Tioga State Forest. First, as stated on the Pennsylvania Wilds website, the Pine Creek Valley and the PA Grand Canyon are, quote, the eastern gateway to the PA Wilds. If it's your first visit to the region, the PA Grand Canyon is a must-see and one of the perfect ways to orient your mind and senses to the wonders of the wilds.
So there are a ton of scenic trails throughout Tioga State Forest, and Tioga adjoins Sproul State Forest.
Technically, it adjoins Susquehannock State Forest, and Sproul adjoins
Tioga State Forest. So you can literally drive around up here for days. One of the things you will want to check out, that's definitely worth it, is the West Rim Trail. And the West Rim Trail does a pretty good job of staying along the rim and having several scenic vistas that look out into the Pine Creek Gorge, and also has a spectacular picnic area that has one of the best views of the Pine Creek Gorge on either side at the Bradley Wales picnic area. One of the great things about it is that it's lesser known. It gets a lot less traffic than the two popular state parks. So it's definitely worth your time, particularly if you like less crowds, to stop at Bradley Wales picnic area. It's another good reason to spend some time on the West Rim Trail, if nothing else. So Tioga State Forest is a good overlanding destination. There is good dispersed motorized camping throughout Tioga, Tioga, and Sproul State Forests. As I mentioned, they all kind of run together up here. And if you go on Reserve America, you can reserve a site and look at the descriptions and see if it's a size. And the description usually includes if it's level and whether there's full sun or partial sun due to proximity of trees for shade to help you make a good decision. You can also take a look at satellite views in your mapping solution of choice and usually kind of see if it's in a clearing what it looks like. There are at the state parks in the area, like Colton Point, campgrounds, and those are another option if you don't mind having neighbors. And there are also some private campgrounds, hip camps, Airbnbs, cabins, etc. in the area. It's a popular area for outdoor recreation, a lot of hiking, a lot of bicycling and mountain biking, equestrian as well. There is a good amount of outdoor recreation opportunity up here, canoeing, kayaking, etc., fishing, hunting. So it's a popular area. There are good camping options, and there are lots of forest roads for you to use if you want to stay off of the pavement and have a true off the grid, if you will, kind of experience up here, which makes it a good place to go. And because of the proximity to the other state forests, again, you can disappear into the forest for days, drive on dirt for days, not come out until you want to.
Colton Point Vista.
All right. Would they take the fangs around it?
Looks that way.
As with other remote areas where cell service is spotty, you're going to want to think about your navigation solutions. Primary recommendation up here is having a physical copy of the Purple Lizard Pine Creek map. Then you're not dependent on any kind of batteries or satellite or cell service to be able to navigate up here. Everything you need is going to be on that map. If you want a digital copy of it, you can use the Avenza Maps application, and that does not require cell service once you've installed that map to see where you are on the map and use that as a navigation aid. OnX Off-Road I've talked about before, and that's my preferred solution for off-road satellite navigation. And there are a number of guided trails throughout this area, as well as the other unpaved roads in the forest that are on their base map, and you can use that to navigate up here. You just have to remember to download the map tiles. And if you're going to be a little bit more basic and use something like Apple Maps or Google Maps, again, you can get away with it. I believe most of these primary forest roads are in both of those solutions. Just again, be sure that you've downloaded the map tiles that you need before you get out here and find that you have no cell service.
So one of the things you need to be aware of when you're out here in the Pine Creek Gorge is that there's a long gorge, right? I think it's about 50 miles long.
It's actually about 20, but my point is still valid.
That's between sometimes where you want to be and where you are. So gas, propane, food perhaps, other miscellaneous stuff that you might need around camp. You got to think about where that stuff is and have it marked on your map, and be ready to have that stuff offline as well, right? Which is another reason why having the Purple Lizard map for up here is a really good thing. But we're here at Wolf's General Store, which is one of those places where you can provision pretty much anything that you might need. You got propane here for your cooking or your propane fire pits. You got gas, old school gas pumps. Some of y'all maybe aren't familiar with these. There's no pay at the pump. You know, you're going to pay first inside with however much you think. And, you know, look at this. You know, no digital, no terminal for your credit card. This is old school. Just, you know, these pumps have been here since, you know, probably the 60s or 70s. But awesome place to provision if you're at the south end of Pine Creek. It's got you know, ice. You know, I mean, there's kerosene here as well if you need that. They got like local touristy kind of stuff if you know, you're looking for t-shirts or things to take to family. They've got a good deli, a very friendly staff, and yeah, it's just a good place to stop. There's not a lot of choice, but this is legitimately a good place to stop. So yeah, I'll drop some information in the video description so that you can find this place. You know, as with a lot of the more remote areas, the gas is, you know, perhaps a little bit more expensive. It's also right across the Pine Creek, and there's a bridge down here that'll take you over to the Hotel Manor, which has a big deck, and if you want sit-down dining up here in this area, if you want to take a break from camp, you don't have a ton of choices, and that's one of them. So these two are close together down in Slate Run, I believe is the name that you would find this little town on.
I'm going to say it again in case you missed it. There's about 20 miles between places you can cross the Pine Creek in Tioga State Forest. You can cross it in Ansonia on US 6 at the north end, and you can cross it at Blackwell at the south end on Pennsylvania 414. Beyond Wolf's General Store, which is even further south of Blackwell, most of the places you can get gas and provisions are around Wellsboro, and that's on the east side of the gorge, when most of your overlanding is on the west side. Get gas every time you have the opportunity to, and keep track of your options for refueling and reprovisioning. So who should and who shouldn't come to Tioga State Forest? It's worth it for multi-day overlanding enthusiasts, those seeking true wilderness isolation, and people who enjoy self-reliance and remote camping. It's not really worth it for day trippers wanting easy amenities, families or others needing constant connectivity, or those expecting developed attractions. Is Tioga State Forest worth it? Absolutely, if you're prepared for real wilderness overlanding. Skip it if you want something a little bit less remote. Have you been to Tioga State Forest or the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon? Give me your impressions in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to support the channel to continue to produce content like this, please do like and subscribe. If you'd like to go beyond that, consider becoming a member and look at the perks of the different tiers that I offer. Or just buy something from the shop. You can get a nice cap or some decals. Check it out. Thank you, and see you out on the trails.